freedom over fame. Freedom over cycle stays the same.
Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives, and I'm your host, Bruce Anthony. Thank you for listening and watching wherever you get your podcasts and video podcasts. Subscribe, share, like, comment, and rate us. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at unsolicited_perspectives. You can find us on Twitter and TikTok at unsolicited_PER. Watch us live now. Watch us live every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube. Our audience continues to grow with each and every episode, and I humbly thank you.
On today's episode, it's the Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis. We're going to be talking Marjorie Taylor Greene, some stuff from back in the day that has to deal with our family. But first things first. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
How's it going? How are you doing?
I'm feeling great. You want to know why?
Because it's Black History Month?
Always. Yes, this is my favorite time of year.
Right,
I don't know about you, but it is, in fact, my favorite time of year. No, I also happen to be a huge fan of the women's national team, the U.S. soccer team.
Hold up. See, I knew you was going to do this. This is a behind the scenes, and this is on the Sibling Happy Hour, now on our Patreon page. This is Sibling Happy Hour.
Yeah.
We did not discuss that we were going to talk about this. No.
I'm just giving up. All I'm saying is I'm happy they won. That's it.
Okay. All right. Because you sent me a bunch of stuff real late in the afternoon when I was working.
Discussing it.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead. Right. Give your 2 cents.
I'm happy that they won. The U.S. women's national team are the She Believes Cup champions. The She Believes Cup is a U.S. soccer.
Here you go. Here you go.
I'm going to tell you what it is, and I'm just happy about it. Can I just give some good news that you don't have to participate? I'm just giving some good news. That's it.
It's a sibling happy hour. I'm supposed to participate.
This is the thing I'm happy about today.
Okay. And as you should be.
It's become a thing. Now it's a thing now. And it didn't need to be.
I just knew because we didn't do no show prep about this at all. No, you sent me a bunch of things, and I was like, and I specifically said, we got topics for the next 6 sibling happy hours.
There's really nothing to discuss about this. This just happened yesterday.
It's monumental in comparing the men and the women, and yes, there is something to talk about.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about that.
I don't want to talk about that right now.
No, I'm just saying that can be another show topic, but that's not
what it is.
I'm just saying that I'm happy they won. They're champions. It's a great organization to empower women and girls in sports and beyond. They were undefeated. It was them, Brazil, I believe Canada and Japan. It was great. You can check out the games on Peacock and HBO Max. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. So
Cripes.
a friend of mine. I got to bring this up. A friend of mine.
You can bring things up.
Well, no, because I know you're going to call me out. So a friend of mine brought it up because I said that you had told me one of your plans was to watch The Lady King this past weekend.
The Woman King. Yes.
The Woman King. Okay. Yeah. And my friend who's a male was like, oh, yeah, you gonna watch it? And I was like, yeah, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And he was like, didn't you say you was gonna go to the movie theater for that? And I said, I did say I was gonna go to the movie theater for that. And he was like, and now it's on Netflix and you still not gonna watch it? I mean, I am. I just got to mentally get prepared for that. And he was like, sounds like some toxic masculinity to me. And I was like, no, I'm making strides. It's not.
Listen,
I'm making strides, right?
He's not wrong. There are men in the movie.
It's not about, come on. First of all, I'm not going to take that title as this being me being toxic masculine, because we know how much I love Wonder Woman, number one. I just can't sit still to watch movies. It took everything in me to go to the movie theater to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp because I knew it was going to be long. It's just, I can binge watch a TV show. I can watch 5 hours of a 1 hour TV show back to back to back to back to back. But to sit down and watch a movie literally takes everything in me. And it's got
you have to stay still.
Well, no, if I'm watching it at home, I can pause it and all types of stuff, but it's still, you gotta follow a whole plot.
Yeah.
For that long, and it's just like, oh,
I think I think I don't like pausing films. Like, I don't like pausing movies.
I'll pause all the time.
If I'm down and watch a movie, I'm gonna sit down and watch it. But if I binge a show, I'm up, I'm moving around, I'm folding laundry, I'm doing things. It's not like I have to sit and fully engage because the whole story is gonna be in this 90 minutes or 2 hours.
Okay.
Like, I know it's stretched out over 5 episodes, and there are some parts where I could be like, okay, I'm gonna go put some chicken in the air fryer, real quick.
Got to put some chicken in the air fryer. Got to do that.
You could do these things.
But a movie, it takes so much out of me. Like, and he pulled my card on, and he was like, "You saw Black Adam?" I was like, "I saw it at home. I didn't go to the movie theater to go see it." I was like, the only movies that I've gone to see in the movie theater since the pandemic was, I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp. Was there any other Marvel movie that came out that Wakanda Forever? I saw that, but I think those are the only 2 movies that I've gone to see. You
want to know what I've seen during the pandemic at the theaters?
Not a damn thing.
Not nothing. and it's, so I feel you 100%, not nothing. And it's not like I'm not excited about these. I was excited about The Woman King. I was excited about Wakanda Forever. I'm excited about Ant-Man.
Wait a minute, you didn't go see Wakanda Forever?
I have not seen a damn thing since they said, "Hey y'all, we think this Corona thing gonna be something." I have not gone to the movie theater.
I could have sworn that you went to go see Wakanda Forever.
Nope.
Oh.
Remember, you wanted to talk about it, and I kept saying, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
Are you going to go finally?
I watched it on Disney Plus. I've seen it.
All right. Oh, no, but I mean, Ant-Man, are you going to finally go watch that?
Adam really wants to go, so if
you put his name out there, he don't like his name out there on the show. He don't like it.
He doesn't. I don't know.
You put his name out there.
Bleep it out.
No, I'm not going to bleep it out. That's too much editing. I got other editing to do. His name is just out there. But he's feeling better now. We ain't going to put his business out there, but he's feeling better. So y'all going to go watch it together? Y'all going to go this weekend?
I don't know.
Y'all need to go before.
This weekend, actually, I think.
Oh, y'all need to go before it gets spoiled. I don't know how it hasn't been spoiled for you already.
I literally have not been on social media for like 2 weeks. Like, I didn't take my page down. I'm not taking a break or anything. I just haven't been in the mood to get on it. And I think maybe it's like in the back of my mind, like, don't ruin this for me. Because I saw an article about Quantum Mania, and it was like, Quantum Mania broke me. And I was like, nope, I'm not going to do it.
Look, let me just say, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. And I've only had a couple of sips of the drink. It's worth it to go see the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie.
Seems like you had a lot of sips.
No. All right. Now, we said we was going to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we was going to tell a story about Brother and Sister Day from back in the day, because you and our brother have gripes.
A new perspective on Brother and Sister Day that I would love to share.
I'm enthusiastic to hear about it, but I sent you 3 things to talk about, and I've already forgotten what the first thing was.
You didn't. You just said Marjorie Taylor Greene.
No.
Look at it. That's all
I can't now. I turned my phone off.
You sent me, we'll talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene and her tweets and the fact that you accused me of never letting y'all pick out the movies that we rented back in the day. That was the entire text.
Jay, I know it had to be more than that. There was something else.
I read you the entire text. This is stuff.
Yeah, you're right. There was something else I wanted to talk about that I just absolutely forgot about that I got. So I sent you. That's age for you. That is age for you. There was something else that I wanted to talk about.
What is this shirt? Is this Superman over Starry Night?
Yeah, it's just something artistic. I got clients that loved it. I had this one client that always would get me Superman stuff, anything for my birthday. and for Christmas. Now
It's kind of tough because they find out you like a thing
and give you everything from
and
that
then
thing.
that thing becomes your personality. And I'm just like, no, you can buy me other stuff. It's okay.
It doesn't help that I got the Superman tattoo. For those that's watching the video, I got the Superman tattoo. Let me go ahead and flex so you can see that the arms are big.
We can see that thigh you call an arm.
What? There was something else before we got into Marjorie Taylor Greene. There was something else I wanted to talk about, and I just swear to God, I just completely forgot.
Well, you never communicated it with me, so
I didn't. It was in my head, and I was like, "Oh, this would be funny," and completely forgot. I come up with things. I wake up in the middle of the night and be like, "Oh, that'd be funny to talk about." And if you don't write it right then and there, and you go to sleep,
next to your bed.
I keep my phone next to my bed, but then when you in that half sleep, half wake mode, and you try to go ahead and punch something in,
it's easier to scribble down a couple words than it is to turn your phone on, open the notes app, start a new note, then type. People see, this is the thing about technology. People forget it's easier to just take a pen and paper and just write the damn thing down. It's easier to do that.
When was the last time I got you a birthday card?
I'm an analog girl in a digital world.
When was the last time I got you a birthday card? When I came,
because I hate birthday cards.
Well, y'all always send me a birthday card
because I feel like you like them.
I do hold on to them. Like I've got every single one. Like I found one the other day where I was cleaning. I was doing some spring cleaning, and it was my 21st birthday, and I still have that birthday card from you guys and Mom and Dad. It was like, I'm so proud of you turning 21. I was like, first of all, now that I think about it, why are y'all proud that I turned 21? Was I not supposed to make it here?
Because you made it. You're a black man in America, man. You made it.
You're right. And I was wilding out back in the day. I was going all up in D.C., bucking shots, running the streets. That's just what I was doing back in the day.
You were doing none of those things.
All right. That's a bit of exaggeration, but I was doing some of those things. I wasn't shooting in the streets because I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it this far. And we all know that I'm not going to make it in jail.
I think you were going to make it because you were an instigator. You like to instigate fights.
Okay. I did back in the day. I don't think,
surprise.
Well, hold on. I like to instigate fights for other people.
Yes.
Yeah. Not for myself.
I knew that one day they were going to turn on you and they'd be like, why are we letting this guy who has nothing to do with this?
Wait a minute. Where were you around where I instigated a fight?
It was that fateful day after the baseball game.
Oh, God, Lord Jesus. Yes. We don't need to tell that story. Please don't ever tell that story.
But it's fine. But I went to the bar to go.
No, we brought it up. So we might as well tell that story now. We brought it up. People asking that was bugging the hell out of us about the unaired episode, which we finally aired. You can catch the preview on our regular YouTube page and then the full episode on our Patreon page. And by the way, the Patreon is an app that you can download on your phone or your tablet, because somebody asked me about that earlier. You can also access it from your laptop. It's also a website as well. So you can watch it on I don't know if it's an app on your television.
I don't think there's a Patreon app on TV. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it, but I don't know that isn't the case. But anyway, Patreon is an app service. You join, catch our links in any of our bio. You can see it. But
let me tell you, Act 1 of this show is all over the place.
It is all over the place because I forgot the thing that I wanted to talk about. It's age. And you know what? Here's another thing. This is another behind the scenes for all the people out there that listen to it. I did 2 interviews already this week that went 30 to 40 minutes, right? That I'm going to have to edit down. Okay. Me and you did a show. What was it? Sunday? Yes, it was Sunday when we filmed the After Hours. I also did my Talking Ish show. Okay. So that's 4 shows that I did in the last 4 days.
Yeah.
It's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 days. Now we're doing this show. So it's 5 shows in 5 days that I've done. And I've got 2 more interviews tomorrow. So I'm just confused.
It's like a full-time job.
And it's supposed to be a damn hobby.
It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be.
It is not.
You know what, though?
Jumped around 3-4 different conversations, but I'll get back to you being an instigator. Anyway.
Well, tell that story. We're going to go there. Might as well tell the story.
That's a dark time in our sibling relationship. I
you
think
were
it's
really mad.
Yeah, I think it's the only time in the 38 years that I've known you that I stopped talking to you. I think that's the only time.
You didn't stop talking to me for long because I actually apologized. I apologized like that night and the next day because I knew I was like,
No, but I still wasn't messing with you. Like, I really was not. Then there were people at work that were like, come on, your brother's really sorry.
Yo,
and
the reason,
like, nah, forget him forever.
Well, no, you had a legitimate reason. I put all of our lives in danger.
Yes. Okay. The lead up to this is getting better and better. I know people are listening and they're like, oh my God.
Oh, you know what? If you want to hear the story, tune into our After Hours episode where we can give you the uncensored
story on the After Hours.
You get that whole episode. You get the whole story. That's the story that we got to say for the After Hours because that story, there's two moments where we became besties.
Yes.
Okay. The car rides when I was dropping you, taking you back to school and me going back to school. And this was the moment where I was like, I need to straighten up my act. Mm-hmm. This instance that you can catch on our After Hour show was the moment that I was like, oh, I need to straighten up my act.
Yeah. And then we were good after that.
Yeah, because I knew I was wrong. When I'm wrong, hey, look, one thing you gotta admit, when I'm wrong, I'll apologize.
Yeah.
I ain't one of them type of people that be like, I ain't gonna say I'm sorry. I say I'm sorry and ask for forgiveness. Yeah, that's how I get real.
You were very contrite. To where people at work were like, hey, come on. Your brother's really sorry.
Who was at work?
It was a couple people that came up to me because I want to say Chad, Ramon, maybe. There was a couple people that came up to me and were like, hey, that were there that day. They weren't there at the end of the night.
Yeah.
But they were like, hey, seriously. It's really sorry. And I was like, listen, I hear you, but he's dead to me. Check us out on the After Hours show where you can hear the story of why one time my brother was dead to me.
All right, sis, let's get back into the show because we was lollygagging. But you know what, though? I think people enjoy the fact that we don't have nothing to say planned, and then we just go off on a tangent for a full 15 minutes.
I think our Type 5 was right in there. It was in there somewhere.
Well, people don't know about our Type 5, but it might be in there. It actually might be in there. But let's get to more serious topics, and let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, I'm not going to pull up all the tweets.
Most unserious topic you can pick.
No, it's serious because she's influential. Influential?
Yeah.
She's influential now in the Republican Party. She's one of the major voices, not just like a loud voice like she was. They gave her power. Kevin McCarthy gave her power. So she sent out a couple of tweets and had a couple of different things that I wanted to get your opinion on.
And I'm blind reacting to this.
Blind reacting to it. And I'm misquoting her tweets because I don't have her tweets. So I'm paraphrasing her tweets. But the context of her tweets are extremely accurate, even though I'm paraphrasing. One of the first tweets was the reason why she didn't want to get rid of any of the Confederate monuments. Said it was the history, the repeated things that they always say. It's the history and, the culture and everything like that. And then she made a point. She was like, she doesn't understand why Black people are still upset about that. It's a reminder of how far they've come having the Confederate statues up. That's number one. Number two, she called for a nation divorce, not a civil war, she calls it. We don't want to have a civil war, but the red states and the blue states just need to go ahead and separate it because it's irreconcilable differences. And she brought up instances where that you would have these when you're going through a divorce, when two people are going through a divorce, they have irreconcilable differences. And she's trying to say that the left and right have irreconcilable differences and the states should be divided into the red and the blue states. She later went on to say that there's so many people coming from the blue states and moving to the red states. And I think that's just people moving to Florida during the pandemic because the weather was nice. And
well, Georgia was historically and still in a lot of ways is a red state. But you got a lot of blue enclaves because they made it really beneficial for companies to move their headquarters down here. So you got a lot of people moving down here, a lot of transplants because there's jobs. So
well, there you go, right there.
I mean, as far as the general election, this has been a Democratic state. Now our local election
local is still pretty red. So she said with all these people from the blue states moving to the red states and they want to bring their values to the red state, she suggested that maybe that even though they move to the blue states, that they still pay their taxes and they still contribute to the states, but maybe they don't get a chance to vote for 5 years. That way they can impart their values on the red states. And then what was the last one? Oh, there's a ESG, and it's the environmental. It's something to monitor companies and make sure they're following environmental,
social, and corporate governance.
Yes. So it's there specifically to make sure that corporations are following environmental governance guidelines. And she is saying that that's a detriment to companies. Meanwhile, we just had a train wreck and spilling toxic gases and chemicals in East Palestine, Ohio, all because during the Trump administration, they rolled back some of the protections that the Obama administration put on to make sure that corporations weren't taking shortcuts in transporting hazardous materials. So she is on one. And I say that she has an influential voice in the party because she's on a couple of important committees. And Kevin McCarthy is saying, there's a report that in private conversations, Kevin McCarthy is saying, I'll never turn my back on that woman. And I'm like, okay, oh, good God. Like this is going to be a voice, at least for the Republican House for the next 2 years. She got a lot of power, and she is on all the right-wing talk networks every night spewing this stuff and saying that I know some people that agree with me. She's literally calling for a national divorce between the red and blue states. So that's all the information I got on her. Go. I'm just like, and go.
What part of any of that is not treason?
All of it is seditious. All of it.
Yes.
All of it.
Boy, talk about saying the quiet part out loud. Well, taking treason off the table.
Yes.
This idea of the conscious uncoupling of red and blue states is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life, because people are not a monolith. Just because the majority of the people who voted that time voted one way doesn't mean that everybody in that state, they didn't get 100% of the vote. What are you even talking about?
That's your state too. She's considering your state a red state because that's her district. Her district is definitely red.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know. As I'm getting it, you know me, I don't typically get mad. I look at these type of situations and I smirk and I laugh because I know about history and I know how things will kind of play out. I'm like Victor Timely. I'm like King the Conqueror without conquering anything. I know how time's going to end up, and I know how history is going to view these people, right? I know what it's going to be in 30, 40 years and how they're going to be viewed. They're going to be viewed like Barry Goldwater, right? They're going to be viewed like, let's just stick with Barry Goldwater because he's not viewed favorably at all. But like, so I normally smirk at these things, but she legitimately reading these text messages and watching her interviews, I legit got mad.
She's been texting you? No, I'm kidding.
No, hell no. No, please no.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm disgusted. But the thing, the thing is, this is not new. Nothing she's saying is very new. It's not very revolutionary. It's just the person saying it right now.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that America is not a country, it's a corporation. So the idea of rolling back protections and the prioritization of corporate greed over corporate responsibility, this idea of looking at the Republican Party in terms of like merger and acquisitions and things like that, like this is this is par for the course. It's just that we are so desensitized and jaded and disillusioned that a member of Congress can be seditious to this extent on a hugely public platform and nothing is going to happen to her. Nothing.
Well, it's not just Twitter. Like, she's posting these tweets on Twitter, obviously, because you tweet on Twitter. But like, she's on Fox, she's on OAN, she's on, what's the other one?
She has no
Breitbart. She's like on all of them.
Yeah. She has no reason to be afraid.
No, because they gave her power.
I don't know what they talked about in order for McCarthy to get the vote so they can be speaker. I don't know what he promised to anyone.
Hold on.
Okay. But he made some promises. She got some things on him.
I got a theory.
Go ahead.
This is unsolicited perspectives. And this is just my unsolicited perspective.
Oh, I'm soliciting it. What's the theory?
She gave him some of that good, and he was like,
"She ain't got no good." She gave him some
to Kevin McCarthy. I guarantee you that was that good.
Yeah. Well,
to Kevin McCarthy, she was Sunshine. If y'all don't know who Sunshine is, watch Harlem Nights one time in your life.
Please watch Harlem Nights.
It has to be like, I understand she got a little bit of pull to that radical right extremest wing.
Yeah, she is one of the voices of that wing, and
she got a lot of. She gets that money. She get them donors. She gets them donors.
And unfortunately, and this did not start with Trump, but unfortunately, the Republican Party over the last 15 years have backed themselves into a corner.
It was 08. It was Sarah Palin. It was them giving Sarah Palin a voice. They had all that stuff in check.
I'm sorry, but is not Lauren Boebert Sarah Palin? Like, they even look identical.
Yeah. See, this is my thing. This is what's crazy to me. Here's the misogynistic side of me. All right. Here's what's crazy to me. Lauren Boebert is absolutely prettier than Marjorie Taylor Greene. Right?
Yeah,
she's more
is a Baba Yaga. She's an old witch in the forest.
What is a Baba Yaga? Is that just a new term?
Witch.
No, talk about, is that a name that you came up with, or is that in literary terms somewhere?
Baba Yaga is a Russian forest witch.
You always coming with some educated. I never knew nothing like that before.
I believe the witch from Hansel and Gretel was a Baba Yaga.
Okay. All right. So she what's it called again? A Baba Yaga bitch?
Baba Yaga.
All right, let's get together. Oh, yes. A Baba Yaga.
No, Marjorie Taylor Greene looks like a dry. Just looks like a dry. You know them old brooms. You know them old straw brooms,
right?
Where
yes.
You're sweeping and a little bit of straw will come off the broom, and it's like I'm pretty much sweeping the broom at this point. It looks like a dry straw broom.
Okay, all right. But back to my main point, because we gotta get back. We gotta get back. We gotta get back. Back to my main point. Stop making that face. Stop. Back to my main point is Lauren Boebert is more attractive. I'm not attracted to her because she's so idiotic.
Yeah.
To me, she ain't AOC.
She had quite a following on farmersonly.com.
I can believe it, but she's more attractive, but she didn't raise, like, she was almost not reelected. Like, it was a close race. So I don't and she says the same things that Marjorie Taylor Greene says. So I don't know what it is, because it's not like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Brunette. One has glasses, one doesn't. Lauren Boebert is brunette with glasses. Ain't nobody listening to her. Marjorie Taylor Greene is blonde. People are listening to her.
I thought the stereotype
I don't know why.
Yeah, I thought the stereotype with blondes is that they weren't bright and that people didn't listen to them, and that if you
said that they were bright.
No, I'm just talking about the stereotypes. I'm just talking about the stereotypes because I know.
I'm talking about the stereotypes. I used to be blonde, so I bleached my hair several times. I used to be blonde. We're not talking about that.
I don't remember that, but okay, let's move on.
Stereotypes.
Yeah.
Blondes have more fun. Why? Because they get more attention.
Oh, okay.
But the bookish Sarah Palin looking types.
I don't know.
Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Listen,
sometimes misogyny has its place. You heard it here, folks.
You heard it from my title from my sister. It's the Black feminist supremacist or extremist, and she's sitting there saying misogyny has its place. Okay, well, you know what? I don't feel so bad about not watching the Lady King.
No, it's the Woman King, and you should feel bad because you've messed up the title. It's literally Woman King. That's it. You've messed up the title now 17 times, and that is why.
Knew it was female gender, and then something king. If I keep saying lady and woman,
sex,
at least I did.
Gender.
Okay.
Female is the biological sex.
Okay.
Woman would be your gender.
That's what I said, didn't I? I said
no. You said female gender.
Okay, we're not about to get into that. It's gonna make me more confused.
Now I'm confused, honestly.
Yeah, I'm confused. Well, I ain't gotten past the Hansel and Gretel, and what you call it again?
It's a Baba Yaga. I need you to look at.
Look, this Baba Yaga.
Straw broom Baba Yaga.
Look, this Baba Yaga got a lot of influence in the Republican House Party, in the House, not the Senate, not the Senate.
Children.
Well, this. That's what they're accusing the Democrats of doing. They're saying, well, you know what?
You dealt it.
That's. I was just going to say, how you throw somebody off the scent, you blame another person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. I have to keep saying, she doesn't have a major influence on the GOP. She has a major influence on a section.
The that they have backed themselves into a corner.
Well, she's got a
pander to, yes.
Yeah, but she's got some power in the House. But the Senate, I don't really want to give the GOP Senate too much credit, but I will say that they are calling out the people in the House. And let's make it clear. The Senate has to be, when somebody is elected to the Senate, the entire state votes on them. When somebody is elected to the House of Representatives, it's a district.
Like 48 people voted for you.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit, she got a little bit more than 48 people, but it can't, well, it's not. No, the state representatives can actually, it can be that small, but not Congress.
How many people? I would like to know the statistics. How many people are voting for congressmen in like North Dakota? I don't know why I see the Dakotas as uninhabited.
Everybody always well because they say that there's more people. There's way more people in like New York City than in both the North and Dakotas combined. I think they said North, South Dakota, and Idaho is more people in New York City than compared to all three of those states. Because they got a lot of land and not a lot of people. I would not want to be on Tinder out there.
Listen, it's like 3 of your cousins, your third grade teacher, It's sad.
Miss Roberts.
So grown up. No,
Miss Roberts got to be 67 years old, 60, 70 years old.
Roberts need love too.
Well, nah, she was mean.
She was mean to her students.
Yeah.
She was a tender lover.
Okay, sis. It's now time to talk about Brother and Sister Day. And I'm interested to find out what your new perspective is on Brother and Sister Day. But for those people out there who obviously don't know what Brother and Sister Day is.
How would they know?
Right. I am the oldest of me, my sister, and our younger brother. My sister's in the middle. I'm the oldest. Obviously, our brother is the youngest. And it's a 4-year difference between me and my sister, and a 5.5-year difference between me and my brother. It's a 1.5 years or about between them. It's a 1.5 years. Okay. It is. Mm-hmm. It's almost exactly a 1.5 years between them. And because I was so much older and they always had a tight bond, I always took it upon myself to be like, hey, we're going to do Brother and Sister Day. We're going to be close. And I don't know if it was because subconsciously I saw my mom and dad not be really close to their siblings, and that I wanted to make sure that I was close to my siblings, or if I just wanted to make them do whatever the hell I wanted them to do. I don't know which one it is. They'll tell you that I was selfish.
I think it's a little bit of both.
It probably is a little bit of both.
I think you were bored and lonely.
But I had friends. It's not like
whatever day you woke up that day and decided it was Brother and Sister Day. That you wanted to do something and you weren't going to ask your friends to do it.
All right. So we know me. And I only have a certain amount of bandwidth for people.
Right.
But so it might have been, hey, I don't want to see my friends or kick it with my friends today, but I kind of don't want to just sit and play video games all by myself. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it Brother and Sister Day. Because they were random as hell. There
was no rhyme or reason.
I would just wake up in the morning. It's Brother and Sister Day.
Yes. And the thing is, the title of the day belies the fact that we had no autonomy or agency in the planning of the day, the choosing. We had no say.
So this is where y'all say, you know, it was all about you, Bruce, and it was just your day, and I was like,
I get it to a certain extent because it's true. At that time, like growing up, it didn't really seem, you know, there's a big age gap between our mom and her younger siblings. Our mom's the oldest, and then our dad's the youngest. Right. And there's an age gap between him and his siblings. Not as much, but there's an age gap between him and his siblings. So, you know, obviously, like I remember them at holidays and things like that growing up. Or we would go visit or they would come and visit us, but it wasn't like my parents called their siblings every day to chop it up.
Right.
Okay.
It did not.
But they did a lot and reinforce within us, hey, we're not always going to be here. The three of you need to be close.
They did do that. They did that a lot. You're right. Yes.
So I think the idea of Brother and Sister Day was born out of that, which is very admirable. The execution
was piss poor.
It was terrible.
Well, and I was an older sibling, and I can openly admit that selfish. That I was. I don't know when I got rid of my selfish nature. It probably didn't happen until I was around 30. Probably selfish all the way up in there. And selfish is selfish, self-absorbed, definitely.
You were a brat.
Yeah, I was a brat. And my boys will tell you, good God, like we would go out to the club, and if I didn't find a woman that night, it was a bad night, and it was going to be a bad night for everybody. Like I was not a good friend. Sometimes I was not a good brother, but I remember, and of course you wouldn't remember because you weren't born. I remember begging mom and dad I said brother at first. I said brother.
Mm-hmm.
But when you came, it was like, I got a little sister.
Yeah.
And it was like, you're my little sister. And I changed our younger brother's diapers. It was like, I loved you guys. And no, and there's a big difference between 8 and 12.
Yes.
13 and 9. And that's just going to the age difference between me and you, 16 and 12. Like there's a big, even though it's only 4 years, like there's a big difference. But I always wanted to make it a point, like, hey, I'm out here doing things. I'm going to this town playing basketball. I'm going to this tournament. But y'all know that I rock with y'all, right? And so to me, it was just like showing love, but also it was showing love with doing the things that I wanted to do.
Yes.
It was because I never really the going to the video store is the one example that I know that y'all always bring up, that we watch the same movies over and over and over again.
Yeah, it was Above the Rim. What else would we watch? I feel like
CB4 and Fear the Black Cat.
Fear the Black Cat.
Depending on what mood that we was in, it was either CB.
If you were feeling dramatic, we're watching Above the Rim. If you were feeling really silly, it was Fear of a Black Cat. If you were feeling kind of silly, it was CB4, and that was it. That was
subs and pizza bowlies, and we got pizza bowlies. And shout out to pizza bowlies and mozzarella sticks and Philly cheese steaks.
There has never been a time in my life where I've liked sub sandwiches. Never.
All right, but hold on.
I hate sub sandwiches.
I would always make brother and sister day. When I got into high school, brother and sister day, like literally, my boys, when they watch this, they're gonna be like, "Oh, so your parents didn't say that you couldn't go out?" Because I would tell them, it's like, mom and dad saying I can't go out because I went out last night. I would lie to them because I was like, okay, mom and dad were going to go out. Y'all were old enough to stay in the house by yourself. And I was just like, nah, I'm just going to stay home. We're going to make it brother and sister night. Because I remember, and I don't know if you remember, when we were living in Columbia, when we were young, I was 11, you were 7, our brother was 5.5, 6. Nick at Night was our thing.
There was.
We would stay up watching Nick at Night.
Dick Van Dyke Show.
And during that time, I felt like that was important for us to be tight.
Yeah.
But I'm naturally a loner.
But at the same time, I do not remember you during that time. Except in the evenings when we were watching TV because you were playing basketball.
Because I'm a loner, right? Like I'm naturally a loner. So it was like, but I need to spend time with brother and sister. But it was like, all right, but I got to also have my time where it's just me doing my own thing, whether it's me going to the basketball court or me down there playing Sega Genesis. Lakers versus Celtics was my best friend. was my
I like that game too. I was always the Portland Trail Blazers because they made all the threes.
Okay. But so your new perspective is exactly what from that?
Well, and I mean, you can get a little glimpse of it in just your explanation just now. That sometimes you felt like you didn't have the bandwidth to deal with people, but you had enough to deal with your siblings. Like we didn't have the language at that time to know that, okay, I have anxiety or I'm introverted and I don't always have space or capacity for other people. And we didn't have the language. And even if we did at that time, other people didn't have, we grew up in an era where mental health was still very much stigmatized.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, hey, I'm loud and proud about mine now. I got a therapist and a psychiatrist. Okay. And I just moved up my therapy from once every other week to now I'm doing it every week. I don't have no problem. Ain't no shame in my game.
Ain't no shame in that at all.
Yes, I'm on antidepressants.
Well,
you see the smile on this? This is genuine.
And you know what's funny is that for the most part nowadays, the majority, I'm not going to say for everyone, the majority of women, it's not hard to convince, hey, you should talk to somebody. But there's still a stigma with men talking to somebody. And
among men, because women are really like, hey guys, go to therapy.
Right. Among men. and I have some friends, and I'm not gonna put them out there what their names are, because that's just not what we do on the show. but I'll tell them, it's like, yeah, I have anxiety. It was like, really? You got anxiety? I was like, yes, bruh. Like, I tell the story, and these are people that I've known since from high school. I was like, yeah, bro, you remember when they had to rush me to the hospital? Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I had a panic attack at the age of 16 when they had to rush me out of the hospital. Like, yeah. Somebody, yeah. Whether mom, dad, the doctors, some counselors at school, somebody should have known, oh, this cat got anxiety.
Yeah.
But I didn't really see that I had anxiety until my ex-wife, who I credit for pointing out to me and showing me in my own eyes, oh, you're anxious right now. And I was like, what do you mean? I would do these nervous tics where I would, if you're watching a video, I would do like this when I'm watching TV.
Yes.
And she would be like, oh, you're nervous right now. You're anxious right now. What's going on through your head? And I couldn't recognize it. I wouldn't be like, I'd be like, no, I'm not anxious or nervous. She's like,
but your body will tell you.
Your body will tell you.
Hey, girl.
Well,
I'm talking about me.
Okay.
I had panic attacks. I'm luckily, I haven't had a bad panic attack in years, but I would be pushing myself. And I did not realize you on the verge, honey. And then my body was like, oh, since you're not going to acknowledge it, I'm going to let you know we're just going to shut everything down now. Your body will tell you. So yeah, I looking back on it, and it just I really love that Gen Z is growing up in a time where mental health advocacy is just huge and people are really in their therapy era.
But our generation, not everybody, but our generation will call them soft and weak. And I'm like, nah, these are the strongest ones, because they realize that, well, Gen X and millennials will call Gen Z soft and weak, right? And I'm saying
the ones that started going to therapy.
The younger millennials. You forget I'm on that line, because I'm on that line. And
Gen X, they self-medicate.
Oh yeah, that was a cocaine era.
Yeah,
some of them still doing cocaine.
Yeah, but millennials are the ones that were like, you know what? I know that everybody's going to look at me funny at Thanksgiving, but I'm going to therapy because I'm tired of y'all. Something's not right here.
Okay.
Something's not right with me. And I'm just going to do it. Because I remember when I first started talking about my mental health and the kind of like side eye looks I would get, especially from like older family members and people telling me to pray about it. I was like,
pray about it.
I used to say is, how do I know that the answer to my prayer isn't therapy?
Right.
So I think it's growing up in that time where mental health was still stigmatized, and then also not having the language of saying, I feel really anxious, but being around my siblings and doing something familiar gives me a sense of control and gives me a feeling of calm. And so I'm going to do that right now to kind of cope with these feelings of anxiety that I'm having. And so I'm going to watch the same movie. I'm going to eat the same food, and I'm going to hang out with my siblings, because I know that even though they don't like any of this stuff, they are still excited to spend time with me, and they still want to do it.
Did y'all not like any of this stuff? Come on now. We still quote.
We had fun. Yeah. We had fun ribbing you about the fact that we're doing the same thing. But, they say that a coping mechanism for anxiety, and I do this, is watching the same thing over and over, watching the same show, watching the same movie. That's because I know how it's going to end. There's no surprises. I have complete control over the situation. I can skip over the parts I don't want to see. I can rewatch the parts I do want to see. So you're watching the same movie, eating the same food with two people that you've known your entire life, that know you through and through, because you're not feeling like yourself, and you need to get back to baseline.
Wow. I did not realize that's what I was doing.
That's why Brother and Sister Day was so random.
Yeah, it was
random.
It was random as hell. It was like, we have a Brother and Sister Day today.
Yeah. And think about it. You're getting calls from your friends. Hey, let's go out again. And you're like, I just don't have it in me to do that. I want to do something comfortable. No, I'm going to stay home and kick it with my siblings and watch the same movie and watch CB4 again and eat pizza bowlies again. I do like subs now, but only from Firehouse. That is not an ad. They just make really, really good subs.
But if y'all want to buy an
But
ad,
if they do want to buy ad space, it's delicious subs. But no, at the time I hated sub sandwiches. Hated them.
But the mozzarella sticks though.
I love some mozzarella sticks.
And remember the cheese fries? We put the bacon in the cheese fries and everything like that.
You cannot get like wedge fries down here and in the foil tin covered in the mozzarella cheese. You can't get that down here, and it drives me insane. Also, I miss 7-Eleven, but that's
there's no 7-Eleven down there.
7-Eleven stops at like Virginia, maybe North Carolina.
Wow, I didn't know that.
There's no 7-Eleven. There's no Wawa. Child, there's nothing down here. We got Racetrack and Quick Trip. Those are our.
Oh Lord.
But they're very good. Also, I do enjoy Racetrack.
And once again, if y'all want to buy ad time, go ahead and buy an ad time. Jay, that was a very wow. I didn't realize that that's what I was doing, but yes, that's absolute. That what you just said makes absolute sense.
Therapy.
Yes. Yeah, no. And it's funny because like I said earlier, I be trying to get on certain friends because I'm open to talking about my anxiety. I don't feel like there's no shame in it. It's funny because I'll talk about my anxiety and still say, in the same breath, still say, I'll smack you in your mouth if you talk slick. like it's decreasing my manhood somehow by talking about my anxiety. But no, that's not what it is. And guess what? And I tell
people, especially after the pandemic, are experiencing. I mean, I read a study not that long ago where men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than women. Like it's especially after the pandemic, especially among Black men, the rise in suicide rate. We need to start talking about.
We need to start talking.
I feel anxious. We need to start talking.
That song.
I feel sad.
Yeah, that strong, silent type. That's not a good thing.
They don't live long.
No, they don't. Stroke, heart attacks.
Yeah,
that's what happened. And so I'd be trying to tell my friends, like, hey, like I'll see certain, because my ex-wife, once again, I credit her, pointing out, oh, these are mannerisms of you having anxiety. And you need to, what's going on right now? You need to examine it because you're trying to project it outward, but you're not dealing with what it is. And I'd be like, I'm not anxious right now. And then she would ask me certain questions and I'd be like, well, I guess this has been on my mind and this and that. So I have certain friends that I've known for years and they'll have certain looks on their face. And I'm like, you're anxious right now. I'm like, no, I'm just thinking. Like, you're anxious right now.
I just feel some type of way.
Yeah, you're anxious right now. Like you zoned and disassociated all the way out. Or, you've been drinking a lot lately. Or you've been eating a lot. Like, why are you always talking about all these restaurants and bad food that you're eating? You've been eating a lot lately. Like, these are all things that people do to deal with anxiety and stress and depression, right? And anxiety can lead to depression. Like, people just say, well, depression. And like, they're intertwined. Like, they're intertwined. They're intertwined. So it's crazy that we started off on a topic talking about Brother Sister Day and ended up talking about anxiety, depression, and people that don't want to acknowledge the fact that they got anxiety and depression. Y'all better stop playing out here. It's for real.
Yeah.
They used to say salt was a silent killer. Nah. Anxiety, stress, depression, those are the silent killers.
For now, all of that, all of the things that we're feeling.
You're right. But on that note, Jay, what you got to tell the people out there?
Happy Black History Month, y'all. We're still bigger and blacker than ever.
Yeah. And on that note, I'll holla. Thank you for listening to Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, and donate. Donations help us keep giving you this free content each and every week. Until next time,
Howdy 5000. Peace.
Freedom.